Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Richard Wishart, and this is CAMS Hour. It's 9 o'clock, it's CAMS Hour. It's about Cambridgeshire business and connecting Cambridgeshire business with the world. And the topic for today is STEM and STEM inspiration. So STEM, science, technology, engineering and maths, and how do you inspire people, young people, and older people as well? How do you inspire people about STEM? So this is Richard Wishart. My topic today is going to be exclusively about STEM and STEM inspiration. So what I did, let me just show you this bit here. What I did yesterday was, I don't know whether you saw it, but the America's Cup Challenge has started this week. It was down in Cowes in the UK. And this is the British contender. So this is the British contender for the. Hi, Jamie. Yeah, no, I'm doing I'm not doing a presentation. I'm going to do a talk, but it's about Cambridgeshire business, and I'm going to be talking about STEM in particular. So science, technology, engineering, and maths. Much misunderstood, and needs a bit of a push, I think. So it's a topic close to my heart. But this is the Ben Ainslie STEM Challenger from yesterday. A little bit of a trick. Some people don't know you can do these sort of things, but I do. I watch BBC and various other television channels on my computer. This is iPlayer, BBC iPlayer, and you can do a screenshot. So this is a screenshot from my high definition television that you can see in front of you. I use it for my computing as well. Do it while I'm working, in fact, and you can just do a screenshot, and then it becomes a high definition picture, and you can use it in your presentations. So this, I think, is absolutely inspiring. I don't know whether you're inspired by it, but I certainly am. So you've got a yacht that effectively weighs about a ton, moving at about 30 to 40 miles an hour on stilts, on foils, and the technology that goes into this is just incredible. It really inspires me, and it should be inspiring the kids of today. Not just the kids, but the citizens of the UK and the citizens of the world should be inspired by this sort of thing. And what I don't quite get is why they're not. They're just watching on television, not actually getting engaged with it. So that's one of my topics. That's one of my topics for today. So this is just for a quick recap for the people that are joining. This is CAMS Hour from Cambridgeshire. Not a very nice day in Cambridgeshire today. It's a bit horrible, the weather. You wouldn't believe that we were in midsummer, but there you go. It's called CAMS Hour, but in fact we'll probably be picking about half an hour from 9 o'clock till 9:30. The subject is connecting Cambridgeshire business with the world. And my topic for today is STEM and STEM inspiration. And particularly, the one that inspired me yesterday was the British challenge for the America's Cup, led by Sir Ben Ainslie. And they were out racing in the Solent last couple of days. I think the second day they had some weather problems, so they didn't go out. But you know, this is a fantastic. If you watched it on television, this is superb. And what is superb about it, from my mind, is the technology. Well, people, of course, people are important. In any sport, the brains of the people who are skippering, who are actually racing these yachts is fantastic. But the technology now that they're doing it with is absolutely superb. So this is the America's Cup Challenge on the BBC. A screenshot from my camera or from my tablet. Okay, so welcome to CAMS Hour. What I'll do is I'll now flip the screen. Well, let me just do it. Let me just do another thing. I don't know whether I'll be able to catch it, but I am. I'm a STEM ambassador, and that's my badge. I'll tell you a little bit about what being a STEM ambassador means as we go through as well. So here we go. Let's just flip the screen. So this is me. I'm Richard Wishart. I'm going to be talking about Cambridgeshire business this morning, and particularly I want to be speaking about STEM, So that's science, technology, engineering, and maths, and particularly how you can inspire people in the use of STEM. What I'll try and do is I'll just put this up on my stand. A bit of fiddling around here, but just if you give me a second. Okay. So there we go. So that's all set up. So we've done the introduction. You've seen where we're coming from today. We're talking about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths. It's where we come from in Cambridgeshire, Cambridgeshire business. We are right in the heart of the innovation ecosystem of the UK. We have Cambridge University on our doorstep. We have lots of innovation and science and technology parks around where I live. And I do cloud of things and smart intelligent technologies. So it's part of, yeah, oh excellent, you're a mechanical engineering student. I'm an engineer. I've had a career in engineering. And then I got into IT, which again, of course, is information engineering. And I'm a huge advocate for STEM. And I'm a STEM ambassador. Now, what does a STEM ambassador mean? So I've got a, I don't know whether that's worked all right, but I've got a badge. It shows that I am, I'll put it in the right way first of all. So I'm a STEM ambassador. What that means is that it's an opportunity for me. I've had a long career in engineering. I'm a professional engineer, so I'm a professionally qualified engineer. I was actually originally an aircraft engineer, and then I moved into IT, into information technology and logistics technologies. But right from the start, an engineer with an engineering brain, having done an engineering degree and postgraduate training in engineering. So engineering is a bit of a misunderstood profession in the UK. Should have a lot more status around it. But people who are beginning to understand about technology really should be thinking STEM. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and maths. And I think there should maybe even be a fifth letter in there. There should be an A, and the A should be in a STEAM, and A is the arts. So things like we're doing now, broadcasting. Broadcasting is a sort of arty subject, but it's actually incredibly, it's a really important part of any STEM work that you're doing, is the design and the creativity that goes along with it. So creativity, design, and using the visual mediums that are now available to us, such as Periscope, is absolutely crucial. So I'm a STEM ambassador. I started this about 2 years ago. I do it as a volunteer alongside my main work. But I go into schools and colleges throughout Cambridgeshire. I'm part of STEMnet East. And I give up my time to go to the events that they organise, but I also go into schools and colleges independently and give lectures about what I do. The technologies I use, how I use them, how engineering thinking colours what. Well, STEM is it stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths, and so it's a grouping of subjects. But it's also something that people are trying very hard to get over to youngsters who are, I think they're poorly dealt with at school. They're told you've got to take this choice between arts and science quite early on, and it's just science. It's not actually technology. They don't talk about engineering. They don't talk about how the thing groups together. So you're having you can have a scientific brain, but you can also have an engineering brain. You can be thinking about how things work and how things can be developed better using engineering principles. And people think of engineering in the old way. They think about boiler suits. They think about people. The guy who comes to do your plumbing is a plumbing engineer. The guy who fixes your car when you put it down for a service is an engineer. They're not engineers. They're technicians. Technicians is important, but engineering is slightly above that. It's thinking of engineering as principles, as a highly educated and process-driven exercise. And it's also with the missing big time the creativity and design that engineering learning can bring to what you do and the way you can apply yourself. And students going through school really struggle. They struggle with, they're given a syllabus that's very restrictive, keeps them on a very straight line, but the teachers haven't really had a STEM education. So the teachers are not talking to them about STEM the way they should be talking about it to them. So as a STEM ambassador, someone who's had a career in engineering, in STEM, and doing a lot of creative and thoughtful stuff in the world of STEM, to be a STEM ambassador, to go back into schools is quite humbling. You see what really gives me great pleasure is seeing people's eyes light up when I'm showing them some of the technologies that I'm involved in, and just showing them how accessible the technology is as well. But it's a two-way street. I've been in business now for about 40 years, probably slightly more than 40 years. And I haven't been in school, haven't been in education. And when I go back in to do STEM talks in schools and colleges in Cambridgeshire, I find it very humbling. I find it quite difficult. I find it quite difficult to engage with the youngsters. And that's my problem. That's not their problem, that's my problem. And I think you've got to get business people out of their offices, out of their businesses, back into schools and colleges, explaining to them what they do and the sort of things, the skills that are needed if they want to follow similar lines of work. And I find it very humbling when you're in a school or a college, really keen, enthusiastic youngsters who are struggling with finding a direction in their lives. They shouldn't be, in this day and age, they shouldn't be struggling for a direction. There's so much opportunity. If you want to be a broadcaster, get on Periscope, start broadcasting. I don't see many kids doing that. It is not a big deal. Technology is an enabler. Not only does it enable you to help do creativity and design and thoughtful concepts, but it's a way of getting your story across. You get on social media, you start broadcasting, you start making a name for yourself, you start listening to really good people, you choose the people you listen to. There's a lot of stuff on STEM, on science within Periscope, for instance, and you can find it, you can listen to it. I listened last week. There was a fantastic series, a really inspired series. It was by General Electric in the States, and no one's really heard of General Electric or what they do, but this was their idea to do a drone week. So it's #drone week. And what they did was they took a drone into some of their major facilities in the States. So one day it was a gas blowout preventer for the North Sea, a site producing blowout preventers. Well, what has a blowout? Well, they took a drone up and they took you around the site and they showed you what it was and how it was built and how it worked. And they had students there, or they had apprentices there who were trying to explain it to you. So we did blowout preventers. Then we did wind turbines. So we went to a wind turbine site in Arizona, I think it was, where they were building some of the largest wind turbines ever. And they got the drone and they took it up and they showed you around the top of the turbine and how it all worked and explained it all. We then went to a aircraft engine manufacturing plant. GE do a lot of the jets, a lot of jet engines. So it was a jet engine plant. And we got in the drone and we went around the site and they showed us how they produced and tested the engines. And then on the final day, one of the final ones was they call it a railroad engine manufacturing plant. We would call it a place where you make trains, train engines. So they had this huge plant. They produce about two trains a day. And then they take them out on a test track. So the test track is a bit like a railway set, a model railway set. And they had the drone. And the drone was following the engines around the test track. And they were explaining what they do and how they did it. So that sort of opening up of large organizations and explaining what they do to the next generation of scientists and engineers and trying to encourage people to take a scientific and engineering career direction, it's just so important. It is not just an interesting thing to do, it is a critical thing to do. We have and in the context of Cambridgeshire business, we have a lot of manufacturing, a lot of engineering businesses in Cambridgeshire. We're at the forefront of advanced engineering, advanced composites. We have Cambridge University, which is one of the worldwide centres for innovative technology. We have a number of science parks. We have the Cambridge Science Park, St John's Innovation Centre, the Biomedical Campus at Addenbrooke's. We have Huntingdon. We have Alconbury Weald, which is a new enterprise zone. And just as a by the way, a bit of an event. I'm also the chairman of the Huntingdonshire Business Network. And this Friday at 12:30, we have our regular meeting up at Alconbury Weald. So they have a new incubator centre there. We'll be in that, and we'll be in one of the meeting rooms up the tower. So we'll have a panoramic view of the enterprise zone. So I intend, and I know I can get connectivity there, so I'm going to be periscoping from the HBN meeting at 12:30 to 2:30 at the enterprise zone at Alconbury Weald. So this is just a bit of a rant from Richard. Richard's rant, building on what some of my other friends have been doing this week on Periscope. This rant is about STEM. This rant is about science, technology, engineering and maths. How do we encourage our youngsters, our highly intelligent, creative kids to take up a career in science and technology and show them the opportunities that it can give them? And I used it at the very beginning, and just sort of completing the loop was the America's Cup. They did the first races of that earlier on this week, or over the weekend, at Cowes. Ben Ainsley, who helped America win last year, has now got a British challenger, and it was out for its first spin at the weekend. Well, if you're not inspired by an America's Cup challenger, you're just not inspired. You cannot be inspired if you're not inspired by that. So you got this 1 ton of ship with a solid sail, or a sort of fixed sail, not like it's a solid dimensional sail. It's all made of carbon fibre, all made of advanced composites, so it's really light, although I think the overweight's about a ton. And then it sits on the keel now is actually an aerofoil, so the aerofoil goes down into the water and the whole thing lifts up, and then it travels about 30 or 40 miles an hour. 30 or 40 miles an hour. So it's traveling really quick, and it's all about aerodynamics and speeds, and the people bit is really important, but there's a whole bunch of technologists behind it who are optimizing the technology all the time. So by the time it comes to the final thing, which I think in about a year's time, the technology will still be advancing. Now, I'm heavily into advanced composites, and advanced composites form a major part of what happens here in Huntingdonshire. So we've got some name dropping. Last year, Lewis Hamilton won the Formula One World Championships in a Mercedes. His car has advanced composites on it. Not just any old advanced composites, but advanced composites in the engine. So advanced composites that can take really high temperatures, enormously high temperatures. The advanced composite parts for Lewis Hamilton's engine are made 2 miles from where I stay on St Peter's Road by Forward Composites. So this is not just science fiction, this is Cambridgeshire fact. These companies are in Huntingdon. There's about a dozen advanced composites companies in Huntingdon. And these companies require, they're very skilled, they're doing some really top-of-the-range technologies. Lewis Hamilton's car, pods, autonomous vehicles down at Heathrow, UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, a whole range of really fascinating engineering subjects and engineering concepts are now being developed and used in Huntingdon. But where they are short, where they have a problem, is skilled employees. We're now at full employment in Huntingdon. It's really difficult to find engineers and technicians who can address the next generation of these new technologies. And all the Huntingdon companies, all the Huntingdon manufacturers are going to fail if they don't get the next generation of smart, intelligent engineers and scientists who have got a bit of oomph in them and who are looking for the next generation of technology and innovation, design skills, innovation skills, exciting stuff. We are leading the world in Huntingdon on some of these technologies, but we need people, and we need skilled, intelligent youngsters coming out of school, coming out of colleges, who are able to pick up the challenge and move forward with these technologies in our area. So Cambridge and Huntingdon are dependent on this message getting across. Skills, technology, engineering and maths. Think of it as a career. There's lots of different ways you can engage. You can think about design. You can think about mechanical strength. You do what I do. One of the things that I'm really interested, what really fascinates me about advanced composites, I've got a LinkedIn group on advanced composites. I've got some of the top people in advanced composites in my LinkedIn group. And my particular interest is embedding sensors within the composites, laying down sensing technologies inside the composite panels. So in other words, Ben Ainsley's boat, I don't think it has it, but it should have it, is some sensors inside the boat saying what, explaining or recording what the temperatures and strains that are happening within the composites as it goes around the course. So that the next time when you redesign your stabilizer or your hydrofoil, you can make it better. You can make it lighter. You can make it stronger. You've got some real data about how it performed in real races. So you actually got this iteration going on, this really intelligent iteration. And it's just crying out for knowledge, people with engineering and scientific knowledge engaging in the leading edge opportunities within the country. Anyway, I've been ranting today. I wanted to do it quite specific on the technologies I do. I haven't had a lot of engagement, so I don't know who's on the call. Let's have a quick look. Wrong one. Let's try again. Okay, so let's do some shout outs. So we've got Mervyn. Hi Mervyn. We've got Annette Williams. Hi Annette. We haven't got too many people today, but we've got the creme de la creme. Hi Mervyn. Sorry, I've been having a bit of a rant this morning. Hope you don't mind. I'm all kitted up. I've got the microphone on. Hope that's working. And I've got the tie on. So this is a business rant. And what I've been trying to do today is really do a bit of a push on STEM, science, technology, engineering and maths. And the thing that, as you know, I'm a STEM ambassador. I'm really passionate about STEM. And the thing that got me going yesterday was the America's Cup Challenge, Ben Ainsley, his boat. It was fantastic. Just seeing a boat on stilts travelling at 30 to 40 knots across the Solent, which is British engineering at its best, I think. It's fantastic. So that really, if you're looking for something to get yourself out of the bed in the morning and rant, then that's something that will make me get out of bed and rant in the morning. So, fairly quick one this morning about STEM. Really liking this Periscope concept, but I'm not prepared just to do normal tweets like I'm having a cup of coffee or what, have a chat and have a mess around. I want to do some serious stuff. I'm a serious guy. I want to do some serious stuff. So I'm struggling a little bit for getting the topics right because I know I haven't particularly got the audience on board yet. There's not a lot of STEM students, potential STEM students listening into this rant. But what I'll do is I'll take this as a video. I'll download it. It downloads automatically into my on iOS. It would be camera roll, but it downloads automatically into my photos. And then take the photos and up onto YouTube, onto my YouTube channel. And then I put it out on LinkedIn, Google Plus and Twitter. And on LinkedIn, I put it out to my LinkedIn groups as well, the ones that it's appropriate for. So hopefully that will get the message across. We're quite early days, I think, in Periscope. We've got a large audience now. Some changes came out last night on iOS. So there's now a way to mute some of your followers so you don't get too many notifications. I'm suffering at the moment from a massive notifications. I think the product is just, the concept is just finding itself. The technology is just finding itself. The audience is just finding itself. It's quite new, quite early. But I think it's got huge potential. It's truly disruptive. It really is truly disruptive. The engagement levels you have when you're speaking to someone visually, and you're also talking to people at the scale of Twitter, the Twitter community, is just huge. As a technology in its own right, I'm talking about STEM, science, technology, engineering and maths, Periscope is a bit of a disruptive influence. It's going to change things. Youngsters at school can broadcast to the world. In fact, I had my grandson here yesterday visiting. He's 6, so he's at primary school. I wasn't going to put him on Periscope. I wasn't going to submit him to that. But what I did do is I helped him make a video. So he made a video about his stay with his nana and granddad, and we sent the video to his mum and dad, and sent it to him so he could have it and show his mates at school. So this is not an exclusive STEM technology. Periscope broadcasting is not an exclusive domain. It is a really accessible domain that you can use. If you're a small business like myself, you can use it. If you're somebody trying to get a point across to an audience, you can use it. But you do have to be creative. You do have to learn broadcasting skills. You do have to have the right image for your audience. You've got to find your audience, and you've got to communicate with your audience effectively. So the technology is not difficult. The application of the technology is. It takes quite a lot of effort and quite a lot of skill. So I think things are really winding. I've felt it over the last couple of days. I'm going to keep my Periscope broadcast going. So I'm going to do it every day, 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock. I do hope you'll join me. I've noticed that business engagement or business, some aspects of business are beginning to wind down. People are going on holidays. The news channels are now dumbing down. So most of the newscasters and reporters have gone on holidays. So the news seems to have dropped off the cliff. Television, if you look at television, it's all repeats now. There's no new stuff. So why should I have it? I don't think it does. I'm going to keep my broadcasting live. I'm going to keep it going, and I'm going to keep it. So if you want to listen in, 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock every morning, get your inspiration here, guys. So get your inspiration here, and get your businesses in shape for when the world opens up again, which will be at the end of August. So please join me. Please help me inspire the world. Please help Cambridgeshire businesses connect with the world. And I hope you've enjoyed this rant. So we've done half an hour, which is what I intended to do. I'm really looking forward. The big news is that Annette, who's on the call, and Mervyn are doing the launch of their first broadcast later on this week, I think. They're probably not, but I'm telling them they are. So we want to hear Mervyn and Annette, and in fact all my HBN buddies, I want to get them online. So come along on Friday, in person or virtually, to Alconbury Weald, and we'll be having a Periscope Fest, and we'll show you around, and I'll introduce you to my friends and colleagues in Huntingdonshire Business Network. Okay, so have a good day, a productive day. Relax a bit. You've worked hard during the year and you probably need a bit of a break, but don't just relax without thinking. Use the summer break as a period to reflect, engage, and reinvent your business for this new technology. Okay, good. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.